Good morning. So I was watching somebody else's YouTube and it was all kind of like healing and accepting the negative. And I'm like, you're so close to so close. And let me take it a step further. So I developed the interconnected theory in grad school. I have my degree in my master's in social work. It was management community organizing / clinical social work, families and children. I had an amazing paradigms of clinical social work professor who's a psychotherapist as a career and taught one class. She said, because there's so many bad therapists, I just want to try to help. And then I had an amazing human behavior 1 and 2 class teacher, same teacher, just phenomenal. So it's kind of created the theory in grad school. And I ran it by both teachers and they're like, so you need 2 napkins for me to explain it, right? So one, I'm going to fold. Can you see? I have my pajamas on still. But you fold like this, right? So in America, in the US, we have basements. A lot of countries don't, but the analogy is kind of like I use basements. So we have the house and the basement, right? So we have different psychology and tons of human behavior theories. So Freud said there's the conscious and the unconscious. Erikson has all these stages of life and development. So you either develop trust, which is positive, or you develop mistrust, which we will shove in the basement. We have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you're meeting all your needs, you're kind of like, I'm doing okay. But if you're not, you're going to throw that in the basement. We have trauma in the world. We have low self-esteem. We're going to throw all that in the basement. All those bad memories, our society says, do we deal with it? No, we don't deal with it. We repress it. We deny it. We throw it in our basement. Okay. So what happens is our society in general says, let's just use an example of commercials. You need this to be happy. You need that to be happy. If you are you can be a full-time mom, working, look perfect, go to the gym, do all these things, and you will be happy, especially if you buy a new car and lose 10 pounds, right? So it's like all these external things. Or you're a student and you need to be perfect and you didn't update your social media. Oh, you only got 2 likes. You didn't get a like. Oh my gosh, like external variables. These things don't really matter is the point. But we become codependent. If I advance in my career, if I get straight A's, if all that. So we're kind of detaching from our problems. So what happens is that eventually we become a codependent leaning tower of, it could be greed or external success or playing a role externally in our lives, and we start like having these impulsive behaviors, automatic responses that aren't ourselves. We start we're a leaning tower of greed, whatever it is. And what happens is we can potentially realize this isn't making us happy. You could have everything you want and then it not work out and you hit rock bottom. And you have the option of rebuilding back on that mindset or creating a new mindset where you're like, let's see what's going on in the basement. So you actually like can handle it. You're not like in here, you're also triggered by people that may remind you of your basement. So people that are like overly honest about trauma or having mental health conditions or all that, you're like, why are they talking? They're triggering me. Like, I don't want to think about those things. It is what it is. But some people go into their basement. And I did a series idea that I may launch. I have a lot of ideas and I'm like, you put them out there, you test them, you see which ones catch. A lot of them I think are going to recycle back in the right timing, because if it's not the right time, you got to wait for the right time. But they're good ideas. But like in the basement series where we're like, hey, these things hurt and this is how we healed. And, you know, I lost so-and-so, but look at the art they made. And this is how I integrated it into my life. And I'm so inspired by this person. So it's not like, I don't want to think about them because it hurts because I miss them. So it's kind of like they're part of me, you know? So there's all these ways to heal of, look what I survived, this trauma. I had this loss and, you know, I've changed. I've dealt with severe depression. I've been suicidal, but I'm happy now. I got out of that pit of despair. So there's all these people that are now like healing of the basement, you know? We're like, all this external stuff. Yeah, I could skip it. I'm fine gaining 5 pounds, whatever. I'm going gray. I don't care. If I highlight it, it'll be because my bonus daughter like does hair, and I'm like, I kind of, yeah, it's worth paying to go see her, but otherwise I don't care. So, there's all these people are just so codependent on external things. And I'm like, no, healing is huge. And then when we heal, we're better. So let's go to my book. So the title so this one has the Ultimate Guide to Hope and Healing in a Crap-Filled World up top, but it's the Crap Happens Philosophy series. And I think I switched it again because it looks better with Crap Happens Philosophy series and Ultimate Guide underneath. But crap happens, and it's going to be a course one day. But right now I think therapy is highly needed. Like everyone's like, can you see more clients? And I'm like, I kind of want to public speak, but I'll talk to you. I have to go soon. But so my outreach is kind of going online because I can do that with half pajamas on and before work. But in here, I snuck that interconnected theory in here. So we have, we're all the way up to page 222. So crap happens. We don't have to be crappy. We can turn our crap into a fertilizer to grow something beautiful if we learn how to deal with it and survive it. So I'm just talking about the interconnected theory that's snuck in this book. It was another book, long story, but I'll probably redo that book too. But this one snuck in that Crap Happens Philosophy, the Ultimate Guide to Hope and Healing in a Crap-Filled World. So we have, right here, we have our conscious and our unconscious. So I have up here, Sigmund Freud, the news that reaches your conscious is incomplete and often not to be relied on. Turn your eyes inward, look into your own depths, learn first to know yourself. Sigmund Freud. So we repress our crap, right? Hide crap in basement, and that's the interconnected house analogy. So this is from like 2009, 10, and then, yeah. So it's an old analogy, and I still find it useful. So in this picture, I have the crap going in the basement. I want to work with teens and young adults, but I think this makes more sense than trying to make it. I have my master's, but I'm my doctor, whatever. So we hiding the crap. So we lack of awareness crap. So Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So we have Freud's iceberg. There's also the iceberg where there's so much more underneath than what you see. And that's every human being. So he was the founder of psychoanalysis. In 1915, he was a founder of psychoanalysis. He used the iceberg analogy to describe the mind, the conscious, and the unconscious. So we have upstairs is the conscious and the downstairs is the unconscious. So the example I have is, let's see if I can scoot you up. You're on, yeah, I'm sitting on, yeah, okay. It's on an ottoman, so it's heavy. The upstairs is, so the example is, why did you do that? The upstairs is like, you know the reason, because, and you can articulate it. But when you don't know the reasons, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. That's because it's downstairs. You cannot articulate all of this. This is sometimes unaware. It's like impulsive behavior. So this is based on cognitive. So there are, I don't study the brain. So there's also like different things. Like I don't study autism or different brain functions that aren't related to cognitive. Like this is more cognitive. So there's always an exception to everything I say. Okay. So then I go into, so Freud's conscious, we have Erikson's 8 stages. We have trust or mistrust. We have autonomy, shame and doubt, initiative, guilt, industry, inferiority, identity, role confusion, intimacy, isolation, generativity, stagnation, ego, integrity, despair. So that's all Erikson. So somebody once told me, when I was 12, one of my therapists told me to put my finger on my head and make the thoughts go away. This is a bad advice. He was telling me to pretend and ignore the truth instead of express it and learn to cope with and deal with it. Bad therapist. No. Somebody mentioned to me, like, get a box and put all your negative thoughts in there and just like hide it away. I was like, you want me to do like trying to like help clients? I'm like, well, I don't know. Yeah. I was like, what? So, we have the visible and the invisible. I'm kind of like, everyone's got issues and they're fine. Like basements are fine. They're healing grounds. The series of In the Basement of talking about things. Like I have my one friend who's a musician on my YouTube, sharing about things and sharing about her grandmother. And like, she's phenomenal. She's a musician. And yeah. Then we have defense mechanisms. So there are so many. So we have repression, denial, projection, reaction, formation, rationalization. I didn't come up with these. I have Sigmund Freud. His daughter Anna Freud continued his research, and George Eamon Valiant also worked on these, and they've been built on through other people. So trying to quote correctly is almost impossible, but I give credit where I can. So we have so many things: disassociation, fantasy, acting out, altruism. So some are good. So, okay, let's keep going. And then I have society's issues. And let's see. So sources of what does society say? We have crap compensators, I say. Society has our goals for happiness as external, bigger house, perfect family, money, success, fabulous, body, fastest car. We do not pay attention to our problems or crap or healing. So the essence of philosophy is that a man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. So this is a guy from like 50, he lived 50 to 135 AD. This is, can you read it? Epictetus, Epictetus. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the richer we have become materially, the poorer we become morally and spiritually. We have learned to fly in the air like birds and swim in the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers. So there's a codependent laying tower of greed. So if Corrie ten Boom said, happiness isn't something that depends on our surroundings, it's something we make inside ourselves. Carl Jung said, people become neurotic when they content themselves with inadequate or wrong answers to the questions of life. They seek position, marriage, reputation, outward success, and money, and remain unhappy and neurotic, even when they have attained what they were seeking. Oh gosh, I wish I could zoom in better, friends. Ali ibn Abi Talib. Detachment is not that you should own nothing, but that nothing should own you. So instead of dealing with our crap problems in the basement, we become obsessed with external things and become even further from fixing our crap. So we have sources of crap, our crappy coping skills, crap from others, nature, life, environment, society, culture, ourselves. We become disconnected. So we have over here, like, when you're not connected, you kind of knock everybody else over. So, and hurt people you know, and you hurt total strangers. So when you become obsessed with wealth, you're not sponsoring that kid over the country, in another country. Like growing up, we had a young Haitian gentleman on our family portrait that my family was sponsoring. You know, he's part of the family. We may not meet him, but like he's part of our family. I think my mom did go there to meet him, but you know, that's cool. Like, why doesn't everyone have like a sponsored kid as a family photo? Like, that's amazing. Like, I have awesome parents. Thank God. Most people can't say that. So be grateful for what you do have. So we have disconnected from self and disconnected caused by outward. So, Thomas More said, when soul is neglected, it doesn't go away. It appears symptomatically in obsessions, addictions, violence, and loss of meaning. Russell Brand says society is collapsing and people are starting to recognize that the reason they feel like they're mentally ill is that they're living in a system that's not designated to suit the human spirit. So here's like a different breakdown of the defense mechanisms. So we have level 1, and this is all George Eamon Valiant. So you have pathological, immature, neurotic, and mature. So sometimes like intellectualization, like when I wrote this one book that, like, even these books were kind of like intellectualization. It was part of my coping. Like it was like I wasn't even healed when I was doing all this. I think I'm doing back. Like I'm doing well. But we also have faulty thinking. So I tie in cognitive distortions, all or nothing thinking. But all of this is connected to not being balanced because we start, yeah. So it goes on. We have compensators and thoughts, and then I have a page marked here. So, and I love Safe Families. I just did a post on Facebook about it. They help keep families together. Like, oh my gosh, the churches should be in the community helping, and Safe Families is like the huge answer. And there, Carroll County has, we have an outreach to our elderly to keep our elderly in home as long as they want possible. And like, so we need to help the vulnerable, both the young and the old. The interdependent, interconnected theory. So the idea is when we're well, we support others doing well. When we're not well, we knock everybody over. I have Anami in here, which is Enemy or Anami's Robert Merton, and I don't know what page that's on. I don't feel like wasting your time right now, but it's basically saying, what do we do when people are having to leave the system? They're becoming Quakers. They're going to, like, but there's like violence, like, so there's all these different levels of what do you do when it's not working. So like the healing of the basement is key. So let me get off and go. Yeah, long day, but I'm a local therapist, and my hope is to help people healing the basement. My hope is to be able to use my books because they're my toolkits. So we'll see if I find a good match. Take care, peace within. And I do share hope through art. So sharehopeart.com, J.K. Veers, Judith Veers. I write under lulu.com. I think I put it in the thread. Have a great day and be connected.